Revenge born between blood and steel, both destroys and strengthens a man's soul. The story of General Marcus Theron, who lived for a single goal for 5 years, questions the thin line between justice and revenge. In one of the bloodiest wars of the Asteria Empire, a broken sword and a burning heart initiate history's most ruthless hunt. Only you will determine what to believe in the arena where swords clash. When General Marcus Theron looked at his broken sword, he relived that horrific night from 5 years ago. Cassius's soldiers had raided his home, mercilessly killing his wife Elena, 8-year-old son David, and 5-year-old daughter Sarah. Now across from him, before the final battle in Fear Valley, stood the sole target of his revenge. Commander Cassius looked at him with a mocking smile from behind his armor. The 5-year hunt was coming to an end. General Marcus Theron was the youngest and most successful commander of the Asteria Empire. At 32, with 15 years of military experience, he protected the empire's eastern borders. He lived a peaceful life in his mansion in Valorous City, with his wife Elena and 2 children. In autumn of 1418, Emperor Aurelius gave him an important mission. Theron, barbarian tribes are uniting at the northern borders. You will end this threat together with Commander Cassius. Cassius was 10 years older than Theron, experienced but ruthless commander. The duo had conducted successful operations, suppressing barbarian rebellions, but there was a secret rivalry between them. The northern campaign lasted 3 months. Theron's tactical intelligence and Cassius's ruthlessness struck fear into the enemy. But at the end of the campaign, things got complicated. A dispute arose over sharing the captured gold. Cassius secretly complained about Theron to the emperor. Theron is hiding his share of loot, inciting soldiers. This slander threatened Theron's career. Emperor Aurelius established a commission. Theron's assets were examined, witnesses questioned. Cassius had prepared fake documents systematically, managing to bribe witnesses to speak in his favor. In court, Theron defended himself. "My emperor, I have served faithfully for 15 years. These slanders stem from Cassius's jealousy." But evidence supported Cassius. Fake accounting books, purchased witness statements, fabricated correspondence. Theron was sentenced to 5 years exile. "Take your family and leave Valorous. Don't return until exile ends," the verdict was given. Cassius couldn't hide his victory. He had seized Theron's position, lands, even military rank. But this wasn't enough. Theron was still alive and posed a threat. Elena understood the situation. "Marcus, this man wants to destroy you completely. Exile alone won't satisfy him." 6 months after exile began, Theron was trying to adapt to life on his small farm. He farmed, taught his children swordsmanship, tried to live peacefully. The night of November 28, 1419 changed everything. Theron had gone to a nearby village for supplies. When he returned at midnight, he found his house in flames. Dead guards at the door, bloody traces in the garden, hell inside. He found Elena in the bedroom, dead with 12 knife wounds. David in the center of the hall, still holding his small sword. He had fought to the end. Sarah was also beside her brother David, killed while trying to protect him. On the wall were pieces of the broken sword and Cassius's seal. The message was clear: revenge completed. That night Theron went mad. As he buried his family's bodies, he swore, "Cassius, I will find you. With every breath I take, I'll plan your revenge. 5 years, 10 years, however long it takes." After burying his family, Theron changed his identity. He shaved his hair, grew his beard, abandoned the name Marcus, and took the nickname Black Wolf. He created the identity of an adventurous warrior. The first year he tracked Cassius. He learned where he lived, which routes he used, who he worked with. Cassius had now risen to general rank and commanded the Northern Command. The second year he gathered strength. He found former soldiers who bore grudges against Cassius. Most had been victims of Cassius's injustices. He formed a secret organization of 50 people. The third year he developed plans. Killing Cassius directly wouldn't be enough. He too needed to suffer, lose everything. He systematically neutralized Cassius's supporters one by one. The fourth year he took action. Cassius's close men died in mysterious accidents. His financial supporters went bankrupt. Political allies were shaken by scandals. Cassius was slowly becoming isolated. Cassius initially thought it was coincidence, but by the end of the 4th year, the picture became clear. His closest man, Tribunus Maxius, died in a mysterious fire. Financial advisor Lucius was arrested in a bribery scandal. His right-hand centurion Brutus lost his life in a duel. This cannot be coincidence, he began to think. Someone is targeting me. Cassius launched a private investigation, but Theron moved very carefully. He left no traces, acted through indirect means. Cassius's paranoia was increasing. At the beginning of the 5th year, Cassius's world completely collapsed. He lost military support, political power was shaken, economic situation deteriorated. Emperor Aurelius lost confidence in him. In March 1423, Cassius's last ally also abandoned him. Now he only commanded a small unit of 200 people. He was a shadow of his former power. In April, he received a mysterious letter. Cassius, he waited 5 years. Now it's time to face. Let's have our final battle in Fear Valley. Black Wolf. Cassius had difficulty understanding who it was. He had heard the name Black Wolf, but couldn't make the connection to Theron. He never thought his revenge from 5 years ago would come back to him. In May came the second letter. Do you remember my family? Elena, David, Sarah. Their blood is still on your hands. This time Cassius understood. Theron was still alive and had been planning revenge for 5 years. Fear was too late. Now this matter needed to be finished. In June came the final letter. Fear Valley, July 15th, dawn. You and me, with our swords, final reckoning. If you flee, the entire empire will learn of your cowardice. Cassius couldn't flee. He had no power left anyway. His only option was to fight Theron and finish this matter once and for all. He set out toward Fear Valley with his 200-man unit. He didn't know how many people Theron would come with, but he was prepared. July 15, 1423. At dawn in Fear Valley, 2 armies faced each other. Cassius's 200 soldiers positioned on the hill. On the opposite side of the valley, Theron's forces were visible. Theron had built a strong warrior unit of 300 people over 5 years, but this battle wouldn't be won by numbers. This was a personal reckoning. In the middle of the valley, they met alone. Theron was now in his Black Wolf identity. Black armor, eagle-feathered helmet, holding the repaired version of his broken sword. Cassius had difficulty recognizing him. 5 years ago there was a proud young general, now a warrior burning with revenge fire. So you're Theron. Cassius drew his sword. You hunted me for 5 years. Now it's time to face. For my family, Theron's voice held arctic coldness. Elena, David, Sarah, their killer stands before me. The duel began with dawn. 2 experienced warriors displayed years of accumulated anger and skills. Cassius fought defensively. His experience was greater, technique flawless, but 5 years of guilt and fear had weakened him. Theron was aggressive and angry. Every strike was his family's revenge. Every move the result of 5 years of planning. The broken sword had become a deadly weapon in his hands. In the 30-minute duel, both were wounded. Deep cut on Cassius's left shoulder, sword mark on Theron's right leg, but neither gave up. The critical moment came. Theron knocked Cassius down, pressed his sword to his throat. He could take his revenge, but at that moment he heard Elena's voice. Will revenge make you as happy as I did? He faced a dilemma. If he killed Cassius, he would have his revenge, but the darkness in his soul would never end. If he forgave, he would have chosen mercy over justice. Theron held his sword at Cassius's throat while battling in his mind. He had lived only for this moment for 5 years, but now he was uncertain. Kill me, Cassius breathed heavily. I have nothing left worth living for anyway. You took this from my family. Theron's voice trembled. Why did you kill them? I wanted to destroy you completely. Exile wasn't enough. You needed to die. But I couldn't reach you directly. This confession angered Theron further. But at the same time he began to question. If he committed this murder, how would he be different from Cassius? Elena's voice came again. Don't sacrifice justice for revenge. Our children wouldn't want to remember you like this. Theron raised his sword. I won't kill you, but justice will prevail. Instead of killing Cassius, Theron chose to hand him over to justice. He presented all evidence gathered during his 5-year investigation to Emperor Aurelius. Documented statements, Cassius's fake witness testimonies, bribery records, witness statements about his family's massacre. Everything was filed. Emperor Aurelius was shocked when he learned the truth. One of his most trusted commanders had deceived him for 5 years. Cassius's trial lasted 3 days. Charges: slander, bribery, murder of 3 innocent civilians, treason against the empire. All crimes were proven. Sentence: execution. But Theron intervened one last time. "My emperor, death is too easy for him. Life imprisonment is sufficient." Cassius was sentenced to 15 years in prison. All assets confiscated, given as compensation to Theron's family. Emperor Aurelius wanted to compensate for the injustice done to Theron. He declared full pardon and restored all his rights. "General Theron, the injustice done to you is unforgivable. I'm appointing you to Eastern Command, Cassius's former position." But Theron refused the rank. "My emperor, I fought for 5 years. Now I want peace. Just clearing my name is enough." Instead, he chose to farm on a small plot of land. The war was over. Revenge completed. Justice had prevailed. Theron visited his family's grave. "Elena, David, Sarah, your killers have been handed over to justice. Now you can rest in peace." Theron built a new life on his small farm. He left warfare, began farming. But he wasn't living alone. He married a healer named Maria, whom he met during the war. Maria was the woman who healed Theron's wounds and cleansed the darkness from his soul. 2 years later, they had a son, David. He gave him his dead son's name. Life was beginning anew. Theron became legend among villagers. The Black Wolf story was told for generations. The commander who chose justice over revenge. Cassius died in prison after 8 years. No one mourned, no one remembered. Evil had prepared its own end. General Marcus Theron's story became legend in the Asteria Empire. This event, known as the Broken Sword Wars, showed that justice is stronger than revenge. Theron later lived peacefully on his farm. He taught at military schools. Revenge is fire that burns the heart. Justice is the water that extinguishes it. He had a happy marriage with Maria. They had 3 children and taught them all to live in peace. The final battle in Fear Valley was never forgotten. This battle showed that not the strong but the righteous wins. The broken sword symbol became a symbol of justice. In Asteria courts, a replica of this sword represents justice. Cassius's story became a warning. Evil sooner or later prepares its own end. Revenge fire burns the soul, but justice cleanses it. Marcus Theron learned this in 5 years.